Week 2 portfolio review. We're going to be breaking down all of the action from yesterday through the lens of DFS, both on DraftKings and Underdog. We'll take a look at my lineup in the SPY. We'll go through the Battle Royales, look at some of those winning lineups, check in on some pick 'em hits. Really nice pick 'em weekend for us here that we shared on the show. We'll, of course, check in on some best ball and eliminator sweats. We will do a peek into the Guillotine leagues. And then we will, preview a little Monday Night Football, maybe hop in a week 3 Battle Royale draft for a first look. I'm Pete Overzet. This is the portfolio review. Let's do it.
I suffer from a debilitating condition known as atrophic chokitis.
Peter's one of the greatest depositors I've ever seen.
Trust the process. Let's go.
I got auto match with Levitan. This is bullshit.
If I just go the other way in that 66, I win all the money. All the money.
If I had 150 lineups, I'd win too.
Process over results.
Illuminati make a bitch go crazy. I don't know which one of these my baby. Bust out AP, close 5 bullets in your head like KD. Bust it, bitch go bust it. And I had 10 pints with me in Russia.
Hey everyone.
Hey everyone, indeed, GMs, fun week, not including last night. I watched, I think the first drive, and then I went to bed. I was gassed. I'm just not going to make it up for these island games this year. It just is what it is. If there's a really good game, maybe I'll become an all 22 bro, watch a condensed version the morning after, but I just can't do it. I'm too old. I'm too washed. Matt's enjoying the Eliminator, went 1-1 against friends. The Eliminator sweats are very fun. I'm going to check in on mine here later today. I actually have not looked yet. So you guys will get to see how my portfolio is doing there. Shout out to Who Hames here. Finished 3rd place in the Wildcat. I think I saw that in the Discord or on X. Congratulations. Seems like all kinds of people around the Deposit Kingdom and Badge Bros communities having awesome week 2s. You love to see it. GMs. Yeah, Chris punched a ticket to Kansas City. We'll look at those winning Dawg Bowl lineups in a few minutes as well. What's up, MacNova? G. Yes, we talked about this a little bit on the Shipcast yesterday. Josh says, pour one out for the contest integrity protectors. Kind of a bittersweet joke to make. We obviously have no Joe Burrow now for it looks like 3 months, effectively wiping out his 2025 fantasy season. Jake Browning can keep that offense afloat. As we saw yesterday, Jamar Chase was still, I believe, the wide receiver 3 on the slate behind Amon-Ra and Malik Nabers, but it's not good. They have a brutal schedule coming up. The overall floor ceiling for that entire offense is obviously lowered without Burrow. But yes, I think we are allowed to poke a little fun at the heroes who were trying to deny the Jamar Chase and T. Higgins drafters the right to select Joe Burrow at the 6-7 turn. Thank you for your service, guys. Brady says, I watched one drive and then watched the Pit. Yeah, Pit season 2 is coming back, I believe in January. I'm excited about that. Do you know what show's been really good that I'm excited to watch? The Task, the new show with Mark Ruffalo on HBO. The pilot was last night, episode 2 aired. No spoilers. I'm watching it tonight, but very solid debut from The Task. Oh no, Thomas. Thomas says, is there a support group for 4th place Dawg Bowl finishers? No. That's the worst. We talked about that on Off and On the Clock too. Like the worst bubble in fantasy sports right now is 4th place in the Dawg Bowl. Hey, keep telling yourself shots on goal. Plenty of weeks still to get up there. You're doing something right. Congratulations. David, who I believe gifted out memberships last week, coming in hot again here. 5 more gifted memberships. Did you have a big weekend, David? Do share. My poker pal, Will, can I call in? This isn't a call-in show, Will. This is me, solo. You can come on Lulz again sometime if you'd like. Oh, David finished 7th in the cover 4, thanks to a dropped Andrews TD. God, dude, Mark Andrews looks like total dust right now. Absolute total dust. And Isaiah Likely is not too far away from returning. Good morning, Angelina. How are you doing? Trev was like me, raked yesterday in Pick'ems and redacted. Yeah, I did really well on Pick'ems. Had a nice lineup on DK that I'll pull up here in a second. Didn't have any good sweats in the BR streets, unfortunately. Pat Moore DMs me blow by blow updates on the team we drafted on Best Ball Bash this summer. Anytime DeAndre Hopkins does anything. Pat, DeAndre Hopkins did score a touchdown again, which is great, but he only played 10 snaps yesterday. So let's just relax a little bit about DeAndre Hopkins, but I do appreciate the updates here. Wow. You know what, Zeus? I was thinking about the BTJ people. There was a lot of people who are getting kind of like offended when we were talking about things being different for BTJ. It takes a big man to admit being wrong about BTJ. He's going to be fine. It's just a lot of what we were hoping for him. And I think this entire Jags offense, right? It's dysfunctional. Trevor Lawrence isn't playing well. Travis Hunter didn't have a good game. I mean, at least the running backs look good. Bashal Tutin, anyone? What a little breakout for him. Already establishing himself as probably the premier handcuff in football with a chance to take over just on pure talent alone. But don't worry, Zeus. I will be holding up mini L's myself today and going forward. No Bo Sox. Finished 8th in the BR, 3rd in the 12th in the 3rd and long, 9th in the cover 4. That's a good week right there. That's a good week. That's a good week. All right. Let's get our usual show flow going. Let me get some stuff up on screen here. We'll start where we normally start with the DraftKings lineups. I played one lineup yesterday. I put it into the SPY and a couple other single entry contests. Did pretty well. Finished 81st in the SPY. This was the 4,444 entry SPY. $100 buy-in, 100K up top, 81st, so a little 4X. Here's the team. I rolled out a Jared Goff double stack that did not have Amon-Ra St. Brown. So that is the difference between finishing top 10 in the SPY and finishing 81st. But Jared Goff, 2%. I had Jamison Williams at 3.9%, Laporta at 3.3%. Kind of stunned how low owned the Lions stuff was. And then the big saving grace here for me is I brought it back with Rome Odunze at 11.5%. So 36.96 points from Goff. JMO gets there on just a couple of receptions, 21.8. Sam Laporta bombs 5.6 there. And then Rome Odunze, though, does his part on the bring back, 34.8 points. The rest of the lineup, I had Jonathan Taylor, who went nuts at 3.1%, 32.5 points. I had a defense and running back correlation with Kyron Williams and the Rams. Kyron, 15%. He only scores 10 points. Blake Corum got him on that goal line touchdown, which hurt. Rams, 21.9% were popular defense there. They score 8 points. And then my two other wide receivers in this lineup, Tyreek Hill, 11.5%, 19.9 points. And T. Higgins, 11.1%. He scores 14.6. So this lineup scores 184.16 points. It's hard not to second guess some 2v2s. If I just go the other way in that 2v2 and I play Jawan Jennings and Amon-Ra St. Brown instead of T. Higgins and Sam Laporta, I win all the money. But I did not. And instead I finished in 81st. First place lineup was the Jared Goff, Amon-Ra, Rome Odunze bring back. They go double tight end. Harold Fannin and Jawan Johnson. Also had Jamar Chase, had Gibbs, CMC, Saints defense here. So the big difference, you had to have Amon-Ra to win yesterday. 42.2 points. That stack with Jared Goff combining for just under 80 points there. Pretty elite stuff from Goff. And look at this, Two Gun. I thought Two Gun, if you guys watch Lulz, we did an entire episode on Two Gun a few weeks ago. I thought he was in the meme coin streets. He said he retired from NFL DFS. It was sugar daddy season. And here he is back in the DFS streets, finishing second in the SPY for 40K. Good morning, Tyler. Third in Juwan, our King Juwan, crushing. It is the year of the Juwans. That's another hard conversation the Ricky Pearsall bros need to have. Ricky Pearsall is a fine player, but he is not suited to lead an offense. He is a complementary player. He is the Jameson Williams on the Niners when that offense is cooking, which isn't, that's not even like a diss on Ricky Pearsall. That serves a very valuable role, but everyone trying to thrust Ricky Pearsall into the wide receiver one chair when that's just not his game. It's not his game. That's not who he is. And I think it is like having Juwan back will ultimately be better for him because he did not prove that he can consolidate targets with literally no competition there. It does suck that we're going to miss Brock Purdy as well because Mac Jones looked pretty rough yesterday. Brady says, I hate when DK turns into double punt tight end season. Yeah, it's not great, but the reason it happens, right? We saw this happen a lot last year where there's no good punt wide receiver plays in that 3 to 4K range. I guess you could have played Tyquan Thornton. I think we mentioned him on the cram. But because of that, like you just can't find 3.5K wide receivers who are going to get 5 to 6 receptions in the way Harold Fannin is going to get 5 receptions for 48 yards at 3,100. And Juwan Johnson was just outright mispriced for his role. He keeps that up heading into week 2 as well. I'm going to pull up the utilization report just so I can fact check myself on some of these spots as we go. But here you go. Juwan Johnson here leading the tight end possession. Actually, this is that's just showing week 1. Let me see if I can get week 2 in here. I want to see what Juwan Johnson put up yesterday. I believe he led the Saints in targets. Let's see here. Let's query down to top 2. This is the utilization report game log here. And let me get over to Vele. Goodness, let me switch over to tight end here. Here we go. Juwan Johnson, weeks 1 and 2. He has a 97 utilization report score. 96% of the routes, 23% targets per route run, 27% of the targets, 8.2 ADOT, a quarter of the end zone targets. Just really, really good stuff there. This isn't updated for week 2, but why? You're killing me. I needed it. Fantasy Life, where's my week 2 stuff? I can go look at the fantasy finishes here. This I know is updated, which is nice to be able to look at here. But Juwan Johnson finishes as the tight end 3 yesterday. 13.4 fantasy points. So now on the season, he is the tight end 3 behind only Tucker Kraft and Zach Ertz. Tony, I was talking about the SPY, 4,444 entrants in the SPY. It's my white whale. It's the one contest that I enter every week, except for week 1 when I was late to enter it. You can see here, I did put it in a few other contests as well. So you can kind of see like how the size of the contest dictates things. I put it in the blind side, which was smaller. How many entrants were in the blind side here? 3.2K. So instead of 4,444, I put it in 3.2K. So then this finishes 51st in the blind side. So again, kind of a reminder of the being willing to toss your tournament teams into smaller contests. Obviously, it's nice to be able to chase the big prizes there. I also put it in the Fair Catch, which was a bigger tournament, and then this one finished in 109th. Fair Catch has 7.4K. So a 7.4K, 4.4K, 3.2K, and obviously the smaller the tournament, the better the lineup is going to do. We got Pat Moore shouting out the masterclass for helping me ship a primetime Palooza yesterday for $1,500. looking forward to future updates. Love to hear it. Yeah, I've actually been talking with John and Nez about a few ideas for some updated roundtable conversations. I do have it pinned in the chat there. We've had lots of good testimonials from people who have taken the course and have already found near immediate success in the Battle Royale streets. And we do have an entire section there on the Primetime Palooza that John put together. Some really strong stuff there. We got people talking about Wan'Dale Robinson. Yeah, I mean, what a massive game from Russell Wilson, Nabers, and Wan'Dale Robinson. Troy Franklin as well. That was very cool to see. I mean, just bizarre usage there for the Broncos too. I mean, this Sean Payton, man, this dude is always himself. No one is more true to themselves than Sean Payton. Like a week after Cortland Sutton dominated the targets, then he comes out, he's barely used, and it's the Troy Franklin show. They're drawing up screeners for him, manufacturing targets for Troy Franklin. We got Kevin gifting 5 memberships after shipping the main BR yesterday. Way to bury the lead, Kevin. My goodness. Congratulations. Congratulations. I don't think there's much else to look at here on DraftKings, so we can head over to Underdog. Look at this, though. I said that Mac Jones didn't play well yesterday and that you needed Jared Goff to win a tournament. This was the fair catch single entry. Someone took it down with Mac Jones. Look at this. Mac Jones, 22.76 points. And again, at 4K, he was the stone minimum, only 10%. That'll play if you nail the nuts everywhere else. So he just did Mac Jones and Christian McCaffrey, Jahmyr Gibbs, but then gets in this trio of wide receivers. Malik Nabers at 6%, Amon-Ra at 6%, Rome at 10. Those guys combine for almost 120 points. Trey McBride at tight end, and then Io Manor in the flex, 15.6. Patriots defense, 13 points. Winning a tournament with Mac Jones in 2025, the year of our Lord. Incredible. Yeah, let's head over, though, and let's look at Kevin's team here. Let's check out Kevin's team. $40K. The Battle Royale this week filled on, what was it, Saturday late afternoon? I know because I was cramming to get my entries in early afternoon. I was going to a bachelor party on Saturday evening, and I'm like, if I go to this party without getting my entries in, I am not going to be able to get my 150. So I'm sitting here, get April down for a nap, supposed to be getting showered and getting ready to go to this bachelor party, and I'm just hammering Battle Royale drafts as I see the fill rate going bonkers. I mean, we talked about it on some of the shows. I don't know if it was because of the rakeback stimmy from the Best Ball Gladiator program that injected some additional liquidity into the underdog market, if it was just general early season enthusiasm for the BRs. But man, that contest filled fast. I had my 150 entries in. I only returned $416. Not a great BR slate for me. I was heavy on James Conner. That was one of my bigger stands. That did not work out. We can look at a couple of my lineups, but let's first check in on Kevin's team here. 163.46 points. Very high score across the board yesterday. Jared Goff drops 33.96, gets that stacked up to Amon-Ra for 34.7. Jonathan Taylor drops 28.5 points. James Cook drops 26. Jamar Chase drops 29.5. Trey McBride, 10.8. And this lineup, you look at the ownership here, right? Jonathan Taylor drafted in most contests. Chase, 100%. Amon-Ra, nearly 100%. Trey McBride, 100%. James Cook, 69.1%. His ADP was 30.2. So not getting drafted in every contest, but a good majority of them. But then the one unique piece here, Jared Goff, who was the QB9 on ADP of 35.3, only 15% ownership. But this is one of those lineups that should make you feel good. This should be one of those aspirational lineups that you look at and say, I could have done this. Because it is, like, it's not taking anything away from Kevin. I'm actually surprised that this lineup wasn't duped, because when you get this many players who are drafted in the majority of the contests that kind of line up with ADP. And then knowing that there were going to be Amon-Ra teams that would stack up with Goff. It's just a very solid, well-made team. One slight scroll at quarterback to stack with one of the pass catchers because Burrow, I assume, was gone. Because Kyler, I'm going to probably assume, was gone. And then with your last pick, you scroll and get that stack. Boom. First place, 40K. Well done there by Kev. Second place team also had the Goff to Amon-Ra, had Nabers instead of Chase, had Jonathan Taylor, but had Christian McCaffrey instead of Cook. So the margins were pretty tight up here, but that 5-point difference, having 26 from Cook, pull away from only the 19 from Christian McCaffrey, and then obviously had a few extra points at tight end as well. Yes, be sure to let Kevin know if you got any of these memberships here. We got ADD giving out some memberships as well. Thank you, ADD. Did I miss your message here? Did you take something down? ADD, are you the Dawg Bowl qualifier? I'm trying to always piece together YouTube usernames with Underdog usernames. Let me know. Yeah, people, we've done this a million times. Goff wasn't 15% owned. That is the ownership display. It's obviously divided by 6. When I say owned, I'm talking about the draft. So in 15% of drafts, he was drafted. We don't have to get all weird about semantics when this is how Underdog's going to display it. I'm not going to divide by 6 every time I read Underdog ownership percentages. For people who don't know what I'm talking about there, the ownerships that are displayed by Underdog, which is a new awesome feature this year, they show you the percent of drafts they were taken in. Obviously, there are 6 participants in each draft, so the true actual ownership number is a sixth of this. But in conversation, as we are going to discuss these things, we will be talking about what percentage of drafts were they selected in. Congratulations, ADD. Let's check in on the Dawg Bowl. We'll bounce around a little bit, but because we just did get the nice gifted memberships here, let's head over to the 12-person contests. 85 here. I'm going to assume this is you, ADD. Jared Goff, Amon-Ra, JMO, classic double stack, Malik Nabers, Tyler Warren, and then gets the scroll at running back. Kenneth Walker, right? No one wanted to touch Kenneth Walker after his horrible splits last week. And the truth was, the usage wasn't all that different in week 1. It was still the Zach Sharbs, Kenneth Walker split. It's just Walker did what Walker's fully capable of doing and ripping off some big plays, gets that touchdown, 13 carries for 105 yards. You get a player at 22.5% selected in these drafts for 18.3 points around all of the other big scores, and you are cooking here. Very nice team, 85. Headed to the Dawg Bowl. Jasta, 29, also had a Goff, Amon-Ra, but had James Cook and Javonte Williams. You can see here, no real low ownership plays other than Goff, who was still only, even in the 12-person drafts, Jared Goff only selected 62% of those drafts. Crazy. And then we have Olia. I think he was in the chat earlier. Here he is, Chris. Chris also punched his ticket. Goff, Gibbs, Amon-Ra, Rome bring back, Chuba, and Jake Ferguson. And again, in these 12-person drafts, the correlation is something you can lean into way more. Chris here essentially played one game, just a full onslaught. Goff, Gibbs, Amon-Ra, bring it back with Rome, only having to get one thing right, then gets a one-off Chuba and a one-off Jake Ferguson. Easy game. Headed to the Dawg Bowl. Congrats. I only had 5 lineups. I drafted these on stream with Nez on Friday night. We did a crossover nose strip Nez DFS After Dark show. Those After Dark shows going forward will be on Saturday nights. Just had my that bachelor party, so I had to flip things around. But enjoyed drafting teams there. I had a couple teams that did all right. This was the team I had in 53rd. I had a Goff, Amon-Ra, but I didn't have the Rome bring back or Nabers. So I had Devontae Adams, Harold Fannin only scored 7.3 points, Barkley in Kamara. But always nice in these super top heavy qualifier contests to get some money back, right? I had 5 teams for $125, get $95 back. That's all you want to do is you just want to tread water in these Dawg Bowl qualifiers. Just tread water, recuperate some of your entry fees back, keep getting shots on goal. Len Keith, Deposit Kingdom OG, had a sweat here in 7th place. Tyler Warren, just needed a little bit more from him, but had that Goff, Amon-Ra, Rome, stack, CMC, Kamara, Tyler Warren. Nez had 4 top 50 teams in the Dawg Bowl. See a lot of familiar names up here. Mythology, Nez, Viper, Joka, Crutches, Patrick Barnes, YouTube, Hot Scissors, Go AZ Cards, Low Fireball, all the friends, all the family. Good morning, Kiss My Third Leg. Good morning. Kevin says, I pivoted to Goff late in the week for the Ben Johnson revenge game narrative. Most of my chase this week was with Burrow. Glad I pivoted. Very nice. Johnny says, I took down the single entry primetime Palooza last night. Congratulations, Johnny. Love to hear it. Love to hear it. This is a fun question. Where would Rome Odunze go if BBM was redrafted today? Probably mid-3rd round, like around where Marvin Harrison Jr. was going, late 3rd. I mean, there's 2 conversations, right? There's like, what's the true price? Where should he go? And there's what would the market do a day after he exploded for, 30 points. But yeah, I think you would certainly flip him and DJ Moore, push him up even higher than where DJ Moore was going, drop DJ Moore back. The thing that I would still say, practicing a little bit of caution with extrapolating this offense out the rest of the year is they still have not fully deployed Luther Burden and Colston Loveland. And this isn't to say that Rome Odunze can't have a classic year 2 breakout. I think he can, but we still need to see what this offense looks like when they finally incorporate these 2 guys, because they're clearly slow playing it right now, and the makeup of the offense could look much, much different in 5 to 6 weeks. If we were drafting today, would James Cook finally be a 2nd rounder? I don't think so, because this is what the James Cook, Josh Allen, Buffalo Bills experience is, right? Like, James Cook has always been really good. He's always been capable of ripping off these big touchdown runs. He looked awesome on that touchdown play, but there's going to be games where Josh Allen has 2 rushing touchdowns. There's going to be games where it's more up tempo and they're using Ty Johnson a lot, and he's going to have like 12 for 56 and no touchdowns. And so the reason he was a late 4th round pick instead of a 2nd round pick is because of that week to week volatility. Like, he's not Jonathan Taylor. He's not getting 20 plus touches a game and only seeding one. The one carry that Jonathan Taylor seeded yesterday was to Tyler Warren. Like, that's not who James Cook is. That's not how the Bills use him. So if people were drafting, if we drafted today and he was going in the 2nd round, I would have 0% James Cook. I think James Cook was pretty fairly priced in the 4th round. You get the spike weeks, the hashtag better and best ball. But I don't think much has changed on the James Cook front. I'm mad at myself that I didn't have more James Cook yesterday in BR, mainly because I was like that early week Q tag, and I was just kind of like, don't love the spot, didn't love that game environment. He also fell in that range that I'm typically not too excited to draft running backs, where they're at that like 70 to 80% ownership, but don't project that much differently. But don't listen to me, because I was taking James Conner all those spots I should have been taking James Cook. Have you sent a text to Derek Carr about coming out of retirement for the Bengals? Talk about having a new source at the perfect time. Yeah, although if you're the Bengals, don't you feel pretty decent about Jake Browning? I mean, yes, he throws the picks. Maybe I should say fantasy players feel decent about Jake Browning because he's still able to support some high-end scores. Maybe the Bengals feel differently. But shout out to my guy Derek Carr, my close friend, a man whose number I have in my phone. But I don't know is Derek Carr like for the team, does he make them more of a playoff contender than Jake Browning? Does he move the needle that much? Hope you don't watch this, Derek. I love you. I need to pour some coffee though. I have deprived you guys of the coffee pour. Let's get one here. We'll keep a few bullets in the chamber for one more pour later. Yeah, this is the one I've been hearing. People want Jameis Winston to Cincy. Why are we doing all of this with the backup quarterback? Like for fantasy purposes, isn't Jake Browning fine? Like Jamar Chase was the third highest scoring wide receiver on the slate yesterday. Why? Like isn't Jameis Winston functionally the same thing as Jake Browning for fantasy? Jake Browning did Jameis Winston yesterday. He threw 3 picks and still scored a shit ton of fantasy points. Was it Jake Browning, Jameis Winston yesterday? Are the gifted memberships randomly selected? Yes. So if you think it's rigged, you can take it up with YouTube. Speaking of which, Jasta, who I'm assuming is this Jasta here, punching the Dawg Bowl seat, gifting out 10 memberships. Appreciate you, man. Congratulations on punching your ticket to the Dawg Bowl. Awesome, awesome team. Again, you look at this team here, nothing crazy as far as like the scrolls or whatever. Playing the picks right at or around ADP. James Cook slid a little bit in this one. When was this one drafted, Josta? Was this earlier in the week when there was still the Q tag uncertainty with James Cook? Is this why you got the slide? ADP of 22.4, get him at 28. Javonte, ADP of 40, get him at 45. Chase, ADP of 2.5, get him at 4. Amon-Ra, ADP of 18.5, get him at 21. This Josta here, this is a little value hound is what we got. Just going through this draft, just little, Harold Fannin, ADP of 61.9, take him at pick 69. Jared Goff was the only player that wasn't a little value scoop for Josta in this draft. I'm guessing this was an earlier week draft. Look at you guys. The generosity is flowing today. Huhames gifted 5 membership. Now, Huhames, this is where Davis accused me of being not being a man of the people yesterday. I believe your finish was in the Wildcat. Next week, I will make sure that I have at least one entry in the Wildcat so I can actually pull it up on stream and look at it. I unfortunately did not have any entries in the Wildcat. That's on me. That's on me. Even for portfolio review purposes, I need to have at least an entry in all of these contests so I can review them. Let's look at a few other lineups here. DeBomb, I had my 5 entries. Looks like I got 300 back. Shout out to T-Box here. Takes it down with a Lamar Jackson, naked Lamar Jackson, which is certainly what you needed unless you knew Devontae Walker was going to continue to score touchdowns. I believe I heard Devontae Walker now has 3 career catches and they're all touchdowns. Can someone fact check me on that? I'm pretty sure that's the case. He had the one, was it in week 17 last year? And now has 2 more this year. Incredible. Jonathan Taylor, Jamar Chase, Malik Nabers, Amon-Ra St. Brown, Brenton Strange at tight end. This is why these smaller contests, obviously this is a $100 entry, but only 444 entries. You can win $6K with 3.2 points from Brenton Strange. Here was my lineup. I had a Dak stack, Dak double with CeeDee Lamb and Ferguson, and I brought it back with Nabers. I also had Puka Nacua, and God, did Breece Hall bone me in this one. Any other player other than Breece Hall, 4.8 points from Breece here. That hurts. That hurts. I mean, if anything, who would have been a realistic player to take at ADP 28? What was Jonathan Taylor? Had an ADP of 20, so he's probably not coming back. Yeah, you needed James Cook there. If I just take James Cook, then I finish in like 10th place. So who cares? Who cares? Let's check out on the Deposit Kingdom League. We had Allen here. Allen JMR 299 has the gets the Rome. Rome 10% drafted in the Deposit Kingdom contest. Jared Goff 21%. Jared Goff to Amon-Ra, Rome bring back. Jonathan Taylor, Jamar Chase, Trey McBride. Easy game. I love lineups like this, right? Because you're jamming the studs early. Chase, Amon-Ra, McBride, Jonathan Taylor. And then you get a little scrolly with those last two picks. Boom, let me get the quarterback, Jared Goff, and let me get a little bring back here. Nice team there from Allen. Very nice team. Pete, honestly, if I went the other way in that 6v6, I would have won all the money. Ain't that the truth? Ain't that the truth? Breece killed me everywhere. Jets look so bad. Yeah, now what? Justin Fields is in the concussion protocol? Seems like it'll be up in the air whether he plays this week. Yeah, the Dak stuff, those were the two stacks. It was like Dak doubles and Goff doubles were the things I was most interested in. Fortunately for my one DraftKings lineup, I did go Goff, but I had a ton of Dak doubles on Underdog and just couldn't quite get there. Wow, that's impressive. Rohan had Amon-Ra on the bomb and failed to cash. Yeah, King Henry, man. King Henry ruined one of my my Splash Sports, the Swolecast TD Survivor League that we got going on. Yeah, King Henry, he ruined that one. I think he had like the highest odds to score a touchdown. I was like, oh, I'll just use my King Henry because I'm playing these 3 entries. I got a Gibbs team through and a Connor one. But yeah, Derrick Henry, that was a bummer yesterday. All right, you want to look at the fullback dive. But yeah, shout out to Allen for winning the Deposit Kingdom here. Gobbler from the Ship Chasing Discord, the Deposit Kingdom in here. Lamar Jackson, Christian McCaffrey, Jonathan Taylor, Malik Nabers, Amon-Ra, and Harold Fannin. So a little oppo there, Jackson, Fannin, and then just jamming in the best plays. Fannin only 30% drafted. I was wrong on the Harold Fannin tight end ownership this week. I thought because his ADP was tight end, man, he must have slid. Position ranked tight end 9. Yeah, because when we opened up, like even on Thursday, wasn't Fannin like the tight end 6? I know when I did the show with Nez on Friday, we were even talking about the Njoku versus Fannin. But yeah, Fannin must have dropped a little bit because that is not a bad percentage at all there at 30% on him. And then third place, NDU, Goff, Gibbs, Amon-Ra, Jonathan Taylor, Puka, Tyler Warren. Good stuff. That contest, by the way, drops every Friday afternoon when we are live during Off and On the Clock. The Badge Bros Brawl and the Deposit Kingdom weekly tournaments will drop. Fullback dive. Oh, there he is. Shout out Chris G. Gets second there with a Mahomes to Kelsey. Has Achane, James Cook, Jamar Chase, Amon-Ra. Nice squad. Second place for 2K. Hutch takes it down. Wow, got it done with Dak. A naked Dak. Whoa. Incredible. Incredible. Dak, James Cook, Jamar Chase, Puka Nacua, Amon-Ra, Juwan Johnson. To have that Dak stack and not even go Ferguson there. Incredible. 5K. Naked Dak takes it home. Goff, he drafts Goff. He still wins it. If he takes Ferguson instead of Juwan Johnson, he still wins it. There was no way Hutch was not winning the fullback dive. Crazy. Yeah, which one of you got 150? What was the winning? Oh, no, you guys are talking about the Deposit Kingdom. 165. Holy shit, you're right. Having that Rome score. Yeah, 165 would have taken down the BR. I always hate doing this to the winner because I think I did this last year. There was 1 or 2 weeks where the winning score in the Deposit Kingdom would have taken down the BR. 163.46 for Kevin and 165.76 for Allen. That is nuts. So this was as close to the nuts as you can get. Wow. Yeah, I guess like having a Juwan Johnson, just a few more extra points at tight end was like true optimal, but man, incredible. Look at this. Every single winner just comes out of the woodwork. It's like you guys just pop up. Poof. 5 gifted memberships from Alan JMR here for this absolute sick team. Alan, did you have any other hits yesterday? Like, were you building a lot of teams like this in other contests? A sick team. Yeah, that Kelsey drop TD was brutal. That would have swung some things because he was what was he, like the tight end 4 on the slate? That extra 7 points there or whatever would have been pretty significant to the tight end landscape because we've now had back-to-back weeks with really no tight end score separating. Last week was all like 10 to 13 point scores. This week, all the 10 to 13 point scores. I felt sick to my stomach yesterday tabbing through so many of my BR teams that were, here's my best BR team. It has 0.9 points from Mark Andrews. This was a Lamar Jackson double stack. This was the one Lamar double stack I did. Disgusting. Absolute disgusting stuff. Here's another one, Laporta. A lot of my Goff stuff. This was a Goff skinny stack to Laporta. Ugh. Here's another Goff to Laporta skinny stack. Here's a Lamar Jackson with Fannin and another James Conner. Ugh, just disgusting. I do want to show you guys my Russell Wilson lineup. I did put in one Russell Wilson lineup. Russell Wilson to Nabers, bring it back with CeeDee Lamb. Russell Wilson, 0.59% ownership. But just didn't get the pieces right. Obviously needed to have Amon-Ra. You couldn't have CeeDee and win anything at 15.7 points, and then didn't have the right running backs either. Fucking Conner, man. Trey Benson is a problem for James Conner. I'm going to wave the white flag on that one. I think this is correct talking about the tight end ownerships. O'Kalini says here, I think tight end was so flat after McBride. Ownership was probably all over the place, even for those 30-ish ADPs. I think that is exactly right. We just didn't have the condensing at the top in the way we normally do. That's how it works, Steve. Every winner is from the Deposit Kingdom. It sure doesn't. I mean, when we go through the leaderboard, I see the tags on Twitter and the Discord. It's like Deposit Kingdom and Badge Bros everywhere. You guys are awesome. Oh, and Alan took down the red zone on Redacted. Congratulations. Have yourself a day. It's always nice when you can capitalize, like when you have your takes and you're like, I'm in on Jared Goff this week, and you can get it everywhere and actually realize a windfall is awesome. Congratulations. I'm 0% drafted on gifted memberships, and the members are 99% drafted. Keep hanging out, man. This is the winners around these parts are incredibly generous. Thank you again to all of them. David, 5 gifted memberships. Kevin, 5. ADD, 5. Jasta, 10. Huhames, 5. Alan, 5. You guys are awesome. As a reminder, one of the there's a few different perks with the memberships. One of them is I'm doing the Battle Royale Bash on Thursdays. I think this week's is going to be at 3 p.m. Eastern. I had done 3:30 this past week. I think I need to move it up. But we got 4 to 5 people on camera, hopped on stage, drafted teams with me. Very fun show. Also, shout out to my guy, Chase. Chase was the first guest. He has his own pool cleaning company. He hops on stream, like mid-cleaning pools. I had to be like, Chase, will you just sit down and draft a team with me for 1 second? And he goes, I have a sneaky stack for us to do in the BR. He's like, I got a guy. And I'm like, all right, I can't wait to do it, Chase. What do you got? What do you got? His phone dies mid-draft. We're through 4 rounds, right about to do his stack. His phone dies. I'm panicking. I'm like, who is it? Like, Chase, give it to me. Tell it to me. So I had to just draft the team out. He goes, finally plugs in his phone in his car, gets a charge, and says it was Caleb Williams to Rome Odunze. My guy Chase was on it. I mean, obviously, Caleb Williams, you needed to play it through the Goff side, but Chase was all over Rome there. Battle Royale Bash every Thursday, 3 p.m. Eastern. If you're a YouTube member, you use hashtag join the bash, spin the wheel. And because the Battle Royale drafts are so quick to draft, we're able to get 4 or 5 of you guys on stream. And then my rules are if one of the teams finishes top 200, I'll split the prize with you on me. Yes, if you you can re-enter into the Battle Royale Bash even if you were on Best Ball Bash. We're gonna get to Eliminator matchups. We're working our way there. We're working our way there. I'm not in any hurry this morning. I got my coffee. We got the crew. We got almost 500 of you guys watching live. I'm trying to just have a chill morning here. I tend to get excited and move quickly and talk quickly, but I'm just chilling out. Just having a nice Monday. This is like this show serves a selfish purpose for me as well, because this is me literally going through my portfolio. I have not looked at my eliminators yet. I'm excited to look at that. I don't begrudge anyone their Sunday sweat experience, but I don't like to do a lot of like watched pot sweating where I'm just waiting for the boil. That's just not how I'm wired. So this is when I really get to kind of dig in and look at things. So you guys are going to get to see it with me in real time. A-Word says almost 500 people, but less than 100 likes. That is pretty ooh. If you're watching, can you hit that like button, please? Love that people are loving the bash. Yeah, in addition to the bash too. So Thursdays now I have 3 shows. Another Battle Royale show I'm doing Thursdays at noon Eastern is on the Fantasy Life YouTube channel. I'm calling it a DFS jam. I drafted a handful of BR teams. There's some good questions in the chat. I'm going to start mixing it up a little bit as we go forward. I think I'm going to get my randomizer wheel out. Maybe we'll do things like, have to take a quarterback round 1, just push myself into some unique builds. But make sure you guys are tuned in to that and subscribe to the Fantasy Life YouTube channel. That'll be every Thursday at noon. I did want to look at, so my one saving grace from yesterday was a few big pick'em hits. Had 3 pick'em hits. 2 of them were from Off and On the Clock that I did with Nez on Friday. And one of them was from the Cram I do on Sunday mornings. That show is for YouTube members at the highest level, that Hand Builder and Optobros tier. But let's take a look at a few of these here. This was the big one. This was our core that we build on Off and On the Clock. So we build 4 to 5 pick'ems, but at the top, we put in our favorite plays. Nez comes in right away. He says, Malik Nabers, 6.5 receptions. I say, done. Let's get it. He goes for 7 receptions. I say Devontae Adams almost cleared this number last week and had an awful game. 10.85 fantasy points. Easy higher there for Devontae Adams. Boom. 19.6. And then John wasn't there. And so we had to channel our inner John. And I said, Nez, what would John do here? And apparently they had been talking about this one previously. Rico Dowdle lower than 17.5 rush yards and was able to use the 75% boost, max this out, $100 max there, and ended up being almost a 10xer there. So that saved my day, that core pick'em. Let me show. We also had a touchdown one that was so close. We were building basically a mock Dawg Bowl token one. This was the one we said, don't dupe us. Jamison Williams TD, Rome TD, James Conner TD, Njoku failed us. That would have been a very nice hit there, but it did not get home. The other one we did get home, however, let me find these in here. Let me find them. This was a game stack. So we wanted to do a game stack around Dallas and the Giants. We put in the Nabers, higher than 7.5 receptions. He gets to 9. We put in Pickens TD, Lamb higher than 7.5 receptions. Dak, we slid up to 289.5 passing yards. So this was another special here on off and on the clock. So very nice pick'em day for us there. And then on the cram on Sunday morning, I wanted to do a little Lions Bears game stack. So slid Goff to 279.5, slid JMO to 79.5, and slid Rome up to 89.5. And that one hit. So shout out to the pick'ems, saving my day there and getting me barely in the green on Underdog. Jake, I promise you that Nabers was Nez's first selection. But yes, and then Nez channeled John for the Rico. We said, what would John do? What would John do? And he said, Rico unders. John normally has like a nice under for us. I think because John had was it the Ollie Gordon under the week before? So yeah, we will try to stay hot, off and on the clock. I'm going to have the Friday DFS shows, Block Party with Jam to Win, Bully the Sims with Uticow and Brick 75, and then off and on the clock with John and Nez. Also, I should mention, I've gotten some feedback on the Bully the Sims show. I sincerely appreciated the feedback. It's always nice when like people give feedback in like just a genuine way. And I have taken it to heart. Definitely have some tweaks that I want to do to the Bully the Sims show with Yuta and those guys, and are going to make those tweaks going forward. More ball talk, less like Sims tutorial type stuff. Still trying to find my footing with that. Only the second time I've done shows with Uticow. So trying to figure out the exact structure for that. So if you guys have feedback on that, let me know. But going to be making some tweaks to that show going forward and trying to make it as enjoyable and valuable to you guys as possible. Okay. I think that's it on the Underdog, DFS, and Pick'em side. Let's talk a little Eliminator and Best Ball. Let's do Eliminator. Everybody's into the Eliminator. Shout out to Patrick Donovan, bbmdb.com, Patrick Donovan. Let's see what I got here for my Eliminator sweats. I think I had like 74, 75 teams make it through out of my 145. Drum roll, please. I have 77 teams that made it. So I was 77 of 145 last week. What's my math on that? Just over 50%, 53%. Right now I'm advancing 42 of those teams, 54.5% of them, but I'm projected to advance 58.4%, 45 teams. I'll take that. I will take that. Anything, obviously, we're now into the head-to-head gauntlet. So expectation is going to be 50%. There's going to be a lot of pod luck here. Did anyone in the chat have a matchup with me? I'm scrolling through some of these names. Do I recognize? I see Bullock. Am I beating Bullock? Ooh, here we go, Bullock. Yeah, Bullock was talking shit about this one. Score 138.8, Bullock 131.1. Ooh, this is like a rookie-heavy team for me, too. Ooh, Jawan Johnson. We both had Jawan Johnson. This doesn't feel like two Eliminator asses of a team. Omari and Hampton, Cam Scatabo, Bayshell Tootin, Dylan Sampson, DJ Giddens. No, this team is not long for the contest. This team has Xavier Worthy, Jayden Reed. Yeah, this team ain't going to survive too long. These are all the matchups I'm losing. Let's see my worst team. 91 points. Wow. Oh, no, I was like, do I have Goff? No. I had 18 from Stafford. Derrick Henry's going to kill a ton of Eliminator teams this week. 2.3 points from your round 1 pick is not going to cut it. Brian Thomas is also, this is a horrible combo. Derrick Henry and Brian Thomas. Man, you know this was a team I drafted late if it has Chris fucking Rodriguez on it. Colston Loveland, I took a 0 at tight end. Loveland, Goddard, likely. No Christian Kirk early has definitely stung for Eliminator. Jayden Reed. Oh, this team is just trash. Absolute trash. Get it off my screen. Get it off my screen. A-Word is currently advancing 52 of 82, projected for 47. This was a phenomenal contest structure. Yeah, it is. It's we're only 2 weeks in, and it's already incredibly fun. Can I find my highest score not advancing? Let's see. There's a 132. There's a 139. There's a 142. There's a 147. Can I beat a 147? Here's a 147. Where did it go? I'm scrolling. Here it is. 147 versus Moe 444. I am going to lose to a team that had Russell Wilson. That's going to be the difference. Well, maybe not, because I had Jared Goff. What's the difference here? Had the Russell Wilson to Nabers, had Chuba Scatabo Javante, Puka Jamo, Harold Fannin. That's just a good team, man. That's just a good team. It does stink to lose this team because this team looks nice. Jared Goff, Bijan, Hampton, Henderson, Montgomery, Bill, Pickens, Debo, Keon Coleman, Wandell, Franklin. Like, to lose on a week when you hit on 24 from Wandell Robinson and 20 from Troy Franklin, that hurts. That definitely hurts. I guess I still have Brock going tonight. But I don't see this team. He also has Mike Evans going tonight. But yeah, stings to lose this one. That one looks pretty nice. 40-point Hampton to save the... Yeah, I guess Hampton and Brock could go nuts. Patrick says, Derrick Henry projected for a 37% advance rate this week. That's honestly better than I would have thought. If expectation is 50% and he's only at 37%, doesn't seem that bad. Honestly, like, this is such a compliment from Ryan here. He says, your running back room looks like you spun a wheel between Ultra Slappy and Ultra Chaperone. That's a compliment. I think that's what running back rooms are supposed to look like. Ultra Slappy mixed with Ultra Chaperone. Are Eliminator teams going to slowly score less points? One bad week for any first 2-round picks will probably knock them out. I don't think so, because the flip side of that is the advance. It's like natural selection, right? The advancing teams are actually getting stronger in that they have identified the best late plays. So you're going to weed out some Derrick Henry teams, but the teams that advance are also going to have hit on these late round selections as well. So the teams are going to get better and better as they go. There will be weeks where like a random, first or second round pick bombs and those guys are weeded out a good bit. But in general, these teams are just going to keep getting better and better and better. Yeah, that was a bummer. Pour one out for the original chaperone, Austin Eckler. Out for the year. He was another guy that I was clicking a lot there at the end of the drafting season. Yeah, I had him on 19 teams, 6 of them advancing. How much? Troy Franklin ended up, I think, being my most drafted player in the Eliminator. I have him on 25 teams. and still only, yeah, I'm going to advance 19 of those 25. It's looking like projection wise, 19 of 25 Troy Franklin teams. Wan'Dale Robinson, I had on 18, 14 of those teams advancing. I don't think I had like any Joe Burrow in Eliminator. 0 teams, 0 Joe Burrow. So I will survive that. How much Henry did I have? 15 teams, 6 advancing, 7 projected. So if the average advance rate is 37%, there it is. I can just search it this way. 38% advancing right now for Derrick Henry. Like I said, that's better than I thought. What's the Brian Thomas? All right. Yeah, I mean, currently advancing 46%, projected at 41%. I guess I'm honestly surprised that some of these duds aren't more catastrophic. The Joe Burrow has to be pretty bad at a onesie position. Yeah, 44%. Definitely shows the pod variance, right? Like if these were bigger pods, I think those advance rate numbers would be more stark. But because there's so much pod luck involved in the head-to-head matchups, that it actually ends up making it more survivable. Survivable? Is that a fucking word? You can survive it more easily with some of those guys. Amon-Ra, should we look at his? See, there you go. There you go. 82% of Amon-Ra teams. Those nukes are worth so much. 82%. Let's see what the Goff has to be pretty good. 73%. Obviously, like the big scores at quarterback are just a little less valuable. Brees probably stung this week in Eliminator. %, so just below. There you go, David. Currently advancing 9 of 9 teams. Pod luck is in my favor. Very nice. Let me just look at my Eliminator exposures real quick here to see if I have any other sweats tonight. Yeah, so Troy Franklin, I missed out on a lot of the Quentin Johnston fun last week, but I did get in on the Troy Franklin fun this week. Aaron Jones. What happened to Aaron Jones last night? Did he get hurt? Like I said, I was legit in bed. 22-6. Jesus. That sucks. That Aaron Jones is not going to help me. Hammy? Yeah. That's bad. That's bad. Eckler, look at this. My two of my highest up here are just like toast. Why do I have so much Kincaid? At least I have Wan'Dale Robinson. So much for slurping the Dipperino on Luther Burden. Jatavian Sanders. Henry, Zay Flowers is nice. Pittman, Hopkins continuing to run hot on touchdowns. Herbert plays tonight. Fields, hammy. Chuba was fine. Henry, don't love these exposures. Don't love these exposures. At least Troy Franklin is carrying me. Let's see here. Let's look at some best balls. Let's see here. Best ball mania. What are we at here? One of 33. That's pretty good. Is that right? 33 divided by 150, 22%. I'll take that heading into tonight. It's always fun looking at the names of the shows that the advancing teams are on. Got some, let's look at some of the bash teams. Let's look at the bash teams that are advancing. Here's the Mathology bash team is currently advancing. Lamar, Mahomes, Barkley, Bucky, Montgomery, Najee Harris. Where did my camera go? we just lose my camera? You still got my audio, Mark? Let me get this back. Barkley, Bucky, David Montgomery, Najee, Rico. There, we're back. Let's see the wide receivers. Worthy, ouch, but Zay, Debo, Slot Demon, Hollywood Brown, Demario Douglas, DeAndre Hopkins, Keenan, Troy Franklin. Man, what a string of late wide receivers there. Hopkins, Keenan, Troy Franklin, and then Kelsey and Likely at tight end. Let's see, what other teams do we have here? A lot of best ball breakfast teams with Mike and Pat advancing. A lot of Leone teams advancing, it looks like. Best ball breakfast with Emo is advancing. Jane Daniels, Daniel Jones, Achan, Brees Hall, Tootin, Blue, Shipley, Lamb, JSN, Debo, Pittman, Godwin, Dobbs, Horton, Mitchell. Nice to see Torrey Horton get in the box this weekend. Laporta, Loveland, Ertz. Who was this? Why don't I have what Bash guess this was? 827 Bash. I need to get the name in there. Pat, here's the deal. I drafted a lot of Bash teams. I can only look at the team if it's advancing right now, because otherwise that's a Pandora's box. Then I have to look at every single Bash team. If the team starts advancing, no, you're right. All right, here it is. It's advancing, Pat. You're in luck. Here it is. This is the team that Pat Moore has been DMing me about. What? Why does my camera keep going away? Goodness. This is annoying. Jared Goff, Matthew Stafford, Cam Ward, Jonathan Taylor, Kyron Williams, Brian Robinson, Cam Scatabo, Miles Sanders, Puka Nacua, Jamison Williams, DK Metcalf, Jacoby Myers, Khalil Shakir. DK Metcalf, Jacoby Myers, Khalil Shakir, DeAndre Hopkins, Tyler Lockett, Tyler Warren, Dalton Kincaid, Jake Ferguson. This fucking cameraman. Guess everybody's an audio listener right now. But yes, Pat, this team, DeAndre Hopkins will lead us to the promised land. 23.9 points. 23.9 points. Yeah, I don't have time to troubleshoot this right now. What I might do, maybe I'll give you guys, I do have an alternate webcam I can use. You guys, I'll give you the 6 side view camera here. Ooh, we could do this for now. Oh, now my teleprompter's in the way. How about this? How about this for a little view today? This is why you always got to have two webcams on the ready. Andrew says, how am I getting crushed by DeAndre Hopkins in 2025? It's a good question. It's a very good question. Look at I drafted this team on lulls with Brian. Our 0 RB team is cooking. Jordan Love, JJ McCarthy. Our first running back was Caleb Johnson. How is this team doing good? This is a running back room that is advancing. Caleb Johnson, Take Bigsby, Austin Eckler, Tyler Algier, Will Shipley, Keaton Mitchell, Kendre Miller. It's like the worst running back room I've ever seen. But it has Nabers, Amon-Ra, Tedaroya McMillan, Igbuka, Golden, Keon Coleman, George Kittle, Tucker Kraft, Jatavian Sanders. That's the thesis of 0 RB. You win everywhere else and then just hope and pray that these running backs can do something. It does look really bad for Caleb Johnson, though. I mean, there's some of these where it's like, it's frustrating that it's going to take a while for RJ Harvey. It's frustrating that it's going to take a while for Colston Loveland. We get spoiled with some of these early flashes from these other guys. But Caleb Johnson is one I'm just like legitimately worried about that if it's ever going to happen. At least the Kenny Gainwell stuff was a little bit more muted in week 2. Let's see. Do I have any other things to look at here? My 2 big dog teams here don't look like they're doing well. 9th place for those. I don't know. It's way too early. It's way too early. Dalmatian. Okay. That maybe this is it. This is the premier tournament on Underdog because I'm advancing all 3 of my Dalmatian teams. 3 for 3 in the Dalmatian. Stop the count. Stop the count. What are these teams? Look at that. Oh, this must have been my Troy Franklin era. Must have been in my Troy Franklin era. Oh, there's a DeAndre Hopkins team too. There you go. All right. I think that's enough for the best balls. We'll spend some more time looking at those as the season progresses. Let's look at a little Guillotine League here. I will say Guillotine had issues with the waiver run last week. Very frustrating for everybody. Apologies for anyone who had poor experiences with those. Am I about to get cut in the Deposit Kingdom League? Let's see here. Oh, I still have Herbert going tonight. But let's see here. Right now, SVY. SVY projected for 68.8. What happened? Kyler, Aaron Jones, Pacheco, Drake London, Pickens, Tyler Warren, Brock Bowers, Reed. SVY, you didn't even set your lineup. Or no, you did. Jayden Reed. Wait, was Jayden Reed ruled out before this game or he got hurt in the game? He got hurt in the game. That stinks. I'm sorry. But yeah, I'm relieved that let me see my team in this one. Yeah, so I have Herbert going tonight, Barkley, Hall, Hunter, Debo, Ingram. Ingram really reverted last night or this week. Keon Coleman. Chopkins, 139.13 projected. And I'm projected to score 77 and squeak by. Let's see. Any other? Let's check in on the Ship Chasing Chop League. I'm doing good in this one. 122 points here. This was a Caleb, Bijan, James Cook, Garrett Wilson, DK Metcalf, Ingram, Olave, Javonte. I'm going to need to figure out some tight end stuff here with all this Ingram stuff. I don't know if it was just because he was coming back from not practicing all week, but what he had, was it like a 40% snap share? Hopefully it was just because of the injury and not because of Sean Payton shenanigans. Here's the Industry Hollywood League. This team's looking decent, although Brees. I have a lot of like the Zay Flowers, Jalen Waddle tier of wide receivers just because I was hammering running back early. I need the slot demon to come back because I have him on a lot of these teams. But yeah, I'm middle of the road here. For people who aren't familiar with the guillotine, it is just you don't want to be last. The last place team gets axed and their players get tossed back in the player pool. Oh, this team is not good. This is the team with the fantasy life. Oh, no, it's fine. 107 here. 107 for this one. I still think a lot of people still didn't realize the value of early running backs in these guillotine leagues. Very similar to the Eliminator too, where you just needed to be hammering these running backs early. And sometimes it doesn't work. Like I have Pacheco on a couple of these, but JT, Bucky Irving, Pollard, and then just trying to get mid-tier hits at wide receiver, Olave, Coleman. I had to sit Goddard this week because he was out. Troy Franklin on my bench. Feels good. All right. There's the guillotine there. Should we take a look at Monday Night Football? We could do a Monday Night Football Palooza here because we do have what? We have 2 games tonight. A 10 p.m. Eastern game tonight. I mean, what are we doing? 10 p.m. Eastern? Get out of here. Get the hell out of here with this 10 p.m. Eastern start. Let's do a Monday Night Football Palooza draft. pretty good slate here. Up top, we're looking at Bucky, Genty, Hampton, Nico, Ladd, Evans, Bowers, Igbuka. Pretty solid there. Quarterback is very flat, right? Herbert, Baker, Geno, Stroud. How's tight end looking? Bowers up top, and then just complete punt situation. Schultz, Cade Otton, Mayer, Conklin, Disley. So it's Bowers or bust at tight end. And then probably quarterback last round anyways, too. The two home QBs are the cheapest here, Geno and Stroud. Yeah, this is a fun punt quarterback slate. Yeah, East Coast, I mean, we've just never been. I mean, I will literally be in my like second REM cycle before kickoff. Boston College played at 10:30 the other day. Bowers is he's probable. Or I guess questionable here. The fact that he returned to practice, though, I think it's very likely that he is going to play. I mean, my thought is with how bad the tight ends are on this slate that I think Brock should be higher. I'll go Hampton because running back really falls off here too after Bucky, Genty. Yeah, so I'll go Hampton, Bowers here. If you're just tuning in now, my main camera was malfunctioning and I didn't feel like troubleshooting it in real time while doing the show. And so I still have my handy other webcam here. So I switched over to that. Yeah, Michael Mayer's fine. I mean, when you're comparing him to Conklin and Disley and all that, I think it's fine. I think I have enough for one more coffee pour here. Somebody won the Thursday, Sunday PTP with a double tight end. Who are the tight ends? Obviously Tucker Kraft, right? Who was the other one? Let's see here. So the quarterback, Herbert went early in this one. All three other quarterbacks still here. So I'm just going to sit on quarterback. I'm done at tight end. So I'm just looking at running backs and wide receivers. I think Chubb and QJ, I guess, are the chalk here. Getting 13 carries for 60 yards in week one. We'll give Nick Chubb one more look here. QJ did look good last week. We could scroll down to like somebody like Higgins. Maybe we'll do Higgins. Let's give ourselves like another out at quarterback. I did really like what I saw from Higgins week one. Without Kirk, I think he's a little undervalued. All right, Ertz and Kraft was the double tight end winner from last week. I believe I just set up Davis with a redirect here. If you guys want to watch his show following this one, The Bag Check by Davis Maddock. So yeah, this is funny. So Stinger goes Justin Herbert first round, and then goes Ladd, Keenan, QJ. Wow, Tyler Algier in double tight end. You get some weird shit in those primetime Paloozas, that's for sure. All right, so I'm left with Stroud. I am glad I went Higgins there. There was the chance I could kind of get boxed out at quarterback. So we'll go Stroud, and then I'm kind of throwing a dart at a wide receiver here. I think doing a Houston scroll is good. Let me just quickly look at the utilization week 1 for the Texans wide receivers. I am just kind of curious here how things went in week 1. Higgins, 21% targets per route. Xavier Hutchinson. Noel, 38% of the routes, 68% for Hutchinson. I think Hutchinson's probably the prudent move. Yeah, we're going to go Stroud and Hutchinson here. I kind of like how this one came out, getting a little bit of a scroll there, and we get the double stack. So we go Bowers up top, Hampton at running back from that game, and then we kind of onslaught the Texans. Basically just need to hope it's not a Nico game and that the production funnels everywhere else. Stroud, Chubb, Higgins, Hutchinson. Monday Night Football Palooza. This one's going to fill in the next few hours, already at 71% full. There's also a primetime DeBomb. There's a primetime dive, primetime bash there with the $5 entry. Looks like we have the initial playbooks are up for this week. No battle royale quite yet. These are what are going to help set the ADP for those. Also, the second quarter, the weeks 5 through 8 best ball contest is up. Let's build a Monday Night Football pick 'em. I'm flying blind here. Yeah, let's get a Monday Night Football core pick 'em. I'm going to need your guys' help here, though. What do we like? Let me go check out the Run the Sims prop sniper just to see. Get some suggestions going in the chat, and we'll see what we can cook up. Do we have any boosts? Do we have any boosts available? Boost me, bro. Boost me. I don't see any boosts in my account. All right. The Run the Sims prop tool, Underdog Fantasy tool, likes Bucky Irving higher receiving yards, although this has gone up. That's the one thing about these is it liked it higher than 17.5, but it's now up to 20.5. Last week, we played the Olamide Zacchaeus. It also likes just fantasy points. That was at 13.95. Okay, so it's still at 13.95. I do like that number there for Bucky. His usage was so good. Jayden Higgins, they want the under on receiving yards. That makes me sad. All right, let me see some of your guys' suggestions. Lots of people like Dante Thornton overs. Herbert over 17.5 rushing yards. Hampton over rushing yards. Lower on Genti. Igbuka 45 plus. Najee overs. Chubb under 51.5 rush yards. Boost me, bro. Boost me. Yeah, Chubb under 51.5. Nice little hedge. Just immediately hedge on my PTP lineup. Sure. We'll do Chubb. Let's play the Bucky fantasy points higher. What did you guys like the Thornton? Man, they don't even have the yards up for Thornton. 2.5 receptions. What did he have? He had 4 targets, 2 receptions, 40. I think we need yards or something with Thornton. I don't think I have anything to work with here, guys. You guys like the Herbert rushing yards? 17.5. All right. It seems like we have, I don't see this one on mine. Thornton longest reception. Let me see if it's back. They just keep disappearing from my screen. I do like this one, though. It seems like this is close to our... Here, we'll do this as the core, and then we can do a slider one. Chubb lower than 51.5. Bucky, 13.95. Justin Herbert, 17.5. I'll drop this one in the chat. If you're listening after the fact, I'll put it in the comments or in the description. All right, what should we slide? Let's get a little fun. Can we get a Thornton slide for the people? There he is. Okay, we're back. Let's slide longest reception, right? Like that's kind of the whole thought of the Thornton is he does the Tyquan Thornton thing, right? Come on. Why did it just get... Is everybody hitting Dante Thorntons right now? The ops team is really making us work for this Dante Thornton pick'em. Here we go. What can we get longest reception to? Should we slide him to like 34.5? That gets us a 2.89x on Dante Thornton. What? It just disappeared. Come on. Herbert TD for 2.85. What is that, rushing TD? Come on, Underdog. Let us cook. Let us cook. Did they just lower longest reception? All right, we're back to the 34.5 for a 2.89x. You guys like Justin Herbert. See, and then this is gone. Now I don't even see that. What other suggestions did you guys have for a slide? Dave likes Myers 60+. I guess I don't mind that thought. He's just like a tough guy to slide. I guess you could slide receptions on Jacoby. He had 10 targets last week for 8 receptions. You have Bowers maybe a little banged up. What if you take him to like 6.5? And then let's get... You guys like the Herbert? We could just slide the rush yards a little bit. How many rush yards did he have last week? 32? What if we just slid him up to like 24.5? This is nice, right? Do we like this? You guys want Hampton total yards. Okay. We could do that. Hampton 70.5. He had 61 last week. You could slide him up to like 90 total yards. What? Underdog just keeps removing them from my slip. It used to at least make you just refresh the projection. Now they just like removing my slip. Come on. Now I have to go back. Let's try this again. They're really making me work for it this morning. Come on. See, we need to get back. We used to do this on Off and On the Clock where we said we all press submit at the same time. Because if you guys are front running me on these picks and then I can't even make them. The ops are in the chat front running me. Now I can't even remember these. What did we did? One little slide on Jacoby, right? Let's take him up to 7 receptions. We had the Thornton. The longest reception isn't even here yet. Let me get that Hampton for us. What were we going to take him up to? Is it like 90 total yards or is it 79.5? All right, give us Thornton longest reception again. See that they got scared. They got scared. Yeah, let's give this a quick breather. Let's do one. I don't think the main BR is up yet. But let's go ahead and do one first look draft for next week. It's always kind of fun to look at the ADPs. Let's do a 12-person playbook draft. That way we can get a really good lay of the land here. If you guys want to do a 12-person playbook with me as our first look, and then we'll circle back to that pick 'em. All right, the 102. So here, wait, what is going on with these ADPs? What is going on with these? Am I in a super flex draft? NFL main slate, 12-person. Just making sure I'm not going crazy. Jordan Love has an ADP of 3.4. What is going on with these ADPs? I mean, yeah, these maybe I need to devote my life into drafting the playbooks. I'm sure there are some of you guys out here doing that. What are some of these matchups? So we have Cincinnati at Minnesota, Dallas at Chicago, Rams at Philly. Little was that wild card weekend matchup last year? Houston at Jacksonville. All right, we're back on the clock. Yeah, we will take CMC versus Arizona. What are some of the other matchups this week? Let's see. Green Bay at Cleveland. Ugh. Washington versus Las Vegas could be fun. Tampa Bay versus Jets. Indianapolis at Tennessee. Yeah. Herbert, Chargers, Denver in LA could be fun. Arizona at San Francisco doesn't sound too fun to me. Atlanta at Carolina. That's the game. That's the slop it up fest of the week. Houston, Jacksonville, Atlanta, Carolina. New England versus Pitt. That's gross as hell. Seattle versus New Orleans is pretty gross. Seems like a pretty gross slate, honestly. What are even like the week 3 lines? I bet. Let's see what some of these lines are. These are the over-unders right now. Packers, Browns, 41.5. Colts, Titans, 43.5. Bengals, Vikings, 43.5. Steelers, Patriots, 44.5. The Patriots and Steelers having a higher total than Bengals, Vikings is a life comes at you fast moment. Rams, Eagles, 45.5. Jets, Buccaneers, 45.5. Raiders, Commanders, 47.5. Falcons, Panthers, 44.5. Texans, Jags, 44.5. Broncos, Chargers, 45.5. Saints, Seahawks, 42.5. Chicago and Dallas, highest total of the week, 48.5. Man, we're struggling this year on games with good totals. Promo boost for 75% just dropped. Was Underdog actually doing us a favor? Were they saying, hey, don't slide this quite yet. We want to get you a boost. Boost me, bro. Monday Night Island game, 51.5. Yeah, who is that? Lions, Ravens. Oh, yeah, that's going to be hot. I can't wait to read about that game in the newspaper on Tuesday. Brandon says, thank you to whoever gifted you a sub. Yes, I don't know who exactly it could be, but I can give you some candidates. It could have been Alan, who took down the Deposit Kingdom tournament. It could have been Hames, who had a nice finish in the Wildcat. It could have been Jasta, who's headed to the Dawg Bowl. It could have been ADD, who's headed to the Dawg Bowl. It could have been Kevin, who took down the week 2 BR for 40K. Shout out to all of the winners today. I think a few of you are probably going to be on the Badge Bros later, right? For the true winners circle. Who's going on the Badge Bros winners circle today? You're right. I did just get my 75% promo boost. I got it. Why I'm pointing it at my old camera there. All right. I think it's a blessing. It's a blessing in disguise, guys. Man, this draft is slow as hell. Everyone's bleeding the clock. We just got through round 1 in this 12-person draft. Did everyone use the entire clock? Is anyone actually drafting this? What in God's name? This is going to take longer than a Best Ball Mania draft. Would I go on BB winner circle if I won 10K or more? I did last year. You kidding me? I just want a front row seat for John and Nez having to figure out how to do the winner circle banner. That's worth the price of admission alone. We're trying to figure it out. Why are these so high? It's because it took forever to fill, so I believe those high QB ADPs are caused by auto when they were ranked by projected points. There you go. Yeah, that's what I'm telling you. Payd says 4 first-round QBs is awesome. I think it's a print fest right now. If you want to roll up your sleeves and get in the 12-person week 3 playback contest, I can tell you just from my personal experience that we're all sharing right now, it looks like an extremely plus EV contest. I did not see the winning DK Millimaker team. If somebody has a link, they can send it to me because we're going to have about an hour here before this draft finishes. Do I have any coffee left? Yeah, I guess once you got to multi-table like 10 of these. It was a very sad pour. My last coffee pour of the morning. All right, are we finally starting to pick this up? All right, let's look at what we want to do here. People are finally fed up with Trey McBride. They've had enough. I believe I am going to take him here, though, if DRD doesn't. Trey McBride at pick 23 is a bit of an overcorrection. Everything else here looks pretty flat. We will take Trey McBride, get that little mini correlation, and I think just too cheap of a price for Trey McBride. Ollie, wind back the tape. We did do a draft. We had a great time in the Monday Night Football Palooza. I drafted a total shipper, bro. You're just tuning in late. We're an hour, 40 minutes into the program. We've covered a lot of ground. And after this draft, we are going to go back and finish that pick 'em. All right, so we're looking at running backs and wow, Javonte Williams up here. I mean, Drake London, I said that slop it up game there. What did London do last night? Was it just a dog shit game all around? But man, Carolina, Devontae Adams should probably not be this low either. We'll grab Drake London. I thought I was. There we go. Come on down, Drake. Here I was complaining about everyone bleeding the clock, and now I'm bleeding the clock. CMC, Trey McBride, Drake London. What other weird ass ADPs do we have in here? The Rome Odunze steam hasn't hit yet. Look at this. AJ Brown an ADP of 46.7. Deebo Samuel coming off of 2 awesome games. I mean, maybe awesome is overstating it, but 2 solid games. And now in the game of the week on the main slate with the highest total, no one wants Deebo. Third and Jawan. Wide receiver is deep. I'm probably going to end up with a dog shit quarterback, though. All right, let's go build this pick'em while this draft moves at a molasses pace. All right, well, let's get back to our roots. Dante Thornton, longest reception. Here we go. We're back, baby. We're back. 29.5. Okay, they're going to give us 3.03 on the 34.5. And then what was the other one we did? Myers. I don't even think we have to. Now Myers is gone. Now Myers is gone. They just won't let us get this in. Where are you, Jacoby? All right. We continue to wait. We continue to wait. An exercise in patience. Let me give you a rundown of the schedule this week. Tomorrow we'll have Swolecast at noon Eastern. I record the LG fantasy show for Fantasy Life on Tuesday afternoons. If you have an LG device or TV, you can watch that show there. Wednesday, I normally don't do shows on Wednesday, but I am going to be going on Blender's podcast. Excited for that. I don't know if that will be live or if it will air after the fact, but excited to sync up with Blender. Thursday, we got that trio of shows. Fantasy Life, DFS Jam at noon, Lulz at 1:30, Battle Royale Bash at 3 p.m. Friday, we have the trio of shows as well. Block Party with JM at 1, Bully the Sims at 2:15 or so, often on the clock at 3. Saturday night After Dark. Sunday Shipcast. And the Sunday Cram. So if you guys are YouTube members of the highest tier, you get the Sunday Crams, 10:30 a.m. Eastern. You get the DFS After Darks. Both those are members-only gated shows. You get access to the Battle Royale Bash. On Thursdays, you get access to the private channels in the Discord as well. And this year, I'm writing up my Battle Royale gems for YouTube members and or Masterclass members. So if you guys have purchased the Masterclass course, I've been adding those to a new section at the very end. Or if you're the highest tier of YouTube members, I've been posting that. And those will go live every Thursday afternoon. The link didn't come through for me. If you want to send it to me on Discord or Twitter, I'll take a look though. All right, let's try to refresh again. Let's see if we can get this pick'em in. We're trying. We're trying. Let's start from scratch. Is Jacoby up on the board? Jacoby is up on the board. Okay, 6.5 receptions. Let's see if we can do it. Can we do this? Dante Thornton is up on the board. Longest reception. We're going to slide him to 34.5. He's catching a bomb. Omarion Hampton. We were going to slide his scrimmage yards up to like 89.5. That's a 28x. Are we going to get it in? Are we going to get it in? Here it is, folks. We did it. We did it. I guess I'll use my boost on something else. I was too excited to get this locked in. There you go. There are you. There are you. There you go. There you go. 5 picks away. The slowest draft of my life. The playbook. We're looking at quarterbacks, running backs, wide receivers. Look at all these wide receivers still hanging around. I have not heard who won the Pick'em version of the Dawg Bowl yet. Very excited to see what multiplier won. I did what was it, like a 5 or 6 legger. I talked about it on the Shipcast last night, but I had Rome, I had JMO, I had Pickens, and then I ruined it with Calvin Austin. That was how I got it to 111x. And then I had Devontae Smith as well, who didn't score. So I wasn't actually that close. But when Rome and JMO and Pickens all scored, I thought I was in good shape. I'm going to go Debo. Like I said, I don't think Debo should be this cheap. Debo in the game with the highest total at pick 47 seems solid. I'll have to think what I want to do for a stack. I could probably just do Kyler. I still feel like the McBride Nuke game is probably correlated decently with McBride going nuts. But we also have Michael Penix too. We could sit on that. How many teams have quarterback? 1, 2. These teams need it. There's 2, 4. So there'll be 4 teams other than me that still need quarterback. Will I be able to get Murray and Penix? It's going to be close. We could try to push it, or we could just lock it up. There are still some nice options here. Let's try to push it. Let's take Omari and Hampton. If he has a big game tonight, his ADP will certainly push up from there. So we'll take Hampton here at pick 50. And then we will try to get Kyler or Michael Penix or Justin Herbert. And worst case scenario, we will take Justin Fields and then swap if we need. All right. I'm pushing the plane on this. I cannot wait around for 19 more picks here. Tag me on Twitter if you want to know the results here. All right, guys. Very fun portfolio review every Monday, 10 a.m. Eastern, walking through all of the action here on Underdog. Thanks again to all of the winners. Congrats and thanks. Congrats on the big binks. Thanks for all of the generosity with the gifted YouTube memberships. Very nice of all of you guys. Be sure to thank your winners for their gifted memberships. Like I said, next time I'll see you guys will be tomorrow at noon Eastern for the Swolecast. Check out the Badge Bros today with their winner circle. And if you guys are looking to take your game to the next level, check out the Underdog Masterclass. Have it pinned there. You go to underdogmasterclass.com. 10 plus hours of roundtable conversations, in the weeds strategies on all the niche formats, as well as the traditional BR. We have stuff on 12-person, on primetime Paloozas, all kinds of really good stuff to take your game to the next level. So check that out. Otherwise, shout out to producer Mark. Shout out to the chat. Enjoy the rest of your week. Go watch Davis's bag check stream now, and we'll catch you guys later.